Okay, in the last video we got to the point where our map was created and a player clip has been added. Now what we're going to do is the very basics of getting some interaction involved. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this information here about the player and I'm just going to create a function from that, which could be initialize player, update player or something. So before the function set location, I will create this new function, keyword function, and I'll call it initialize player. It's always important to use meaningful terms. When I press return, it will balance my braces by creating a new one there. Make sure you pay attention to that. All of your code needs to come between those two braces. And then I'm going to paste all of that in there and just indent it a little bit. Okay. So for now, the player won't appear until I tell it to initialize player. Means start. There we go, the player appears again. We could make that a little bit more complex. For example, we could send the information about the start position into that function, but we've already got an object for that purpose, so we'll leave it as is. But now that we've added the player, we also need to start listening for events. We're going to control it with a keyboard, and we'll just use the cursors to start off with. And so the starting point for that is we need to create a function to handle that. Now, in the final version, it's quite complex. We're going to have two functions, but for now, we're going to create a function called move player. So basics start off with, and I keep all my functions together and all my variables together. So the functions are declared at the start. Function move player. This is going to listen for key presses on the keyboard, and the first thing we'll do is we will just console.log, sorry, JavaScript there. Actually, ActionScript is trace, and then we'll just put key is pressed. Check that the function is going to be working before we do anything with it. And it's always good to use these traces. This is called debugging, and it's a way of testing as you go. Okay, so we now have the player underscore MC on the stage after we've initialized it. And what we're going to do is we're going to, actually we don't need to reference that, we're going to do the stage. Once the player is on the stage, we're going to add an event listener. And the event listener is going to be for a keyboard event, key down. Once I press return, it should, if I scroll up to the top of the page, have imported the keyboard event for me. If it hasn't, then you need to put that line in. I then need to respond to it by telling it which function it's going to run when this happens. So move player is going to happen once a key has been pressed. And so I just control enter and test that. We're looking for the output window at the bottom left. When I press a key, there it goes. Argument error count. That'd be just related to the trace, I think. Maybe just try speech marks. Just pause that for a second. Very simple. Okay, when I set up the function, I forgot to also tell it what kind of event it's listening for. So we have to create a variable when we're using event listener inside of the function that's being called, and we usually put that inside of a variable. So I could call that E. That's what I normally do, but you could also call it event. Although when your variable names go blue, that means that they clash with a keyword, and so it's important to try and avoid that. So E colon, and then we're listening for a keyboard event. Then the function should run. So the error previously was saying that there was an argument expected, and that's correct. There is an argument expected. There's supposed to be some kind of information about the event that is calling the function sent to the function. So it catches that, and we could handle it. And we will in a second once we've done this first trace to make sure the function works. So just get this collapsed. Press the key. There we go, key is pressed. The key is pressed, we know that it's calling that function. That's the main thing. It's calling the function, that's what we want it to do. But then we can also get some useful information out of it. So what if we were to trace something other than a little string of text? Let's talk about e.keyCode, which is a function in this case. And let's see what we get from that. Oops. It's a property. Okay, so it's e.keyCode, like so. And then as we press the keys, we'll get a number up. It doesn't really matter which key we press. There's a number for every key on the keyboard, as you see there in the output window down the left-hand side. We can then use this key code to check which key has been pressed and how to respond to it. So what we can do is we will set some if statements relating to the key code. If e.keyCode equals, and this is a comparison operator. When you use equals once, it's something that sets a value. When you use equals, it's something for checking a value. So if keycode equals, and then we're going to look for keyboard dot. Now, the reason keyboard doesn't work yet is because I need to import the keyboard. That lives in flash.ui, user interface, .keyboard. This will then give me code hinting for that. Now that I press dot, there we go. Capital K, by the way. There are some meaningful key names that you can use for the most common ones. So let's just put in keyboard dot left. And these names are all capitals, brackets, curly brackets, and then we will just check by saying press left is pressed. So now, if I press a key, only the left key will give me some information in the output window. We can then copy and paste this, changing it from left to right to up to down. So right, down, and then we can just change that to right is pressed, up is pressed, down is pressed. And you see in the output window to the left there, right is pressed, left is pressed, up is pressed, down is pressed. So the next thing is just responding to where that goes. Now we know tile width and we know tile height. And so what we can do is we can tell player underscore MC dot X. When we're making it go left, we need to take the value away. So we will say tile width. For right, we can copy and paste this and just change it from a minus to a plus. This is based upon the coordinates, positive to the right, negative to the left. Now for the up and down, we need to change that from a Y, and in terms of down, it'll be Y and then plus, because positive numbers go down on Flash and negative numbers go up, because the 0, 0 coordinate is in the top left of the movie. So hopefully what we'll get now is something that moves around like this. There are no rules, so it can go off the screen and it can go through things. The rules come later. Okay, that's where we'll end this example.